Welcome back to Krown's Crypto Cave, and hey, hello, happy Tuesday. Hope everyone's having the best Tuesday out there possible that you could ever have in your life, but we have some very serious and very important magic internet money business to get down to right over here right now. So let's get in a live scene, wasting no more time, looking at the daily over here on GDEX, and of course, gotta talk about the most important areas to be aware of. 6,100, essentially, that is, as long as we're below there, I'm very, very bearish. And that also means that, hey, if you can get back above 6,100, close a daily, close a weekly above there, well, I would not be so damn bearish. I would be a little bit more, I wouldn't be bearish at all, actually. I would be saying that the low is probably in and it's time to go upwards and onwards. But as you can see, we're very far away from that area. So we really need to go over here to our BitMexico chart and go down to the lower time frames to see what's going on in the more immediate price action. And Bitcoin basically trying to put in a base, I should say, around 3,600. Is this going to hold or not? Well, I would say that it looks very droopy right now. It does not look strong. Looks like, yes, it does indeed want to break. But the timing component of that going to be absolutely critical. Now, here is going to be a key component of what I'm going to be saying for basically the rest of the week. And I can't repeat this enough because I think a lot of people are really overcomplicating things. All you have to do this week, all you have to fucking do, trading could be this easy if you just let it be. You just have to wait on the weekly dildo close. If the weekly dildo closes below this 200 exponential moving average, right around 4,200, well, it's actually 4,172, I will be looking for a short. And I will be looking to short 3,600 when it breaks. If the weekly dildo closes above there, then this is going to look like a little bit of a throwover below an exponential. Not something that you really get too often, but I suppose it's possible, just like anything's possible. And we could probably start filling out, around 4,500, 4,700. I think that is very unlikely, though. So with that said, just want to be very deliberate and very careful with how I kind of relate these ideas, but always have to give up both, interpretations of this, the bullish and the bearish. Obviously, I do lean a lot more to the bearish camp right over here. So right here, right now, yes, if you do close this next weekly dildo below the 200 exponential moving average, again, 41, we'll just call it 4150, colloquially speaking, it's just easier to say that. So if that were to happen, yes, 3,600 still needs to be broken, but I would be looking towards the next move, at least somewhere right around this 200 simple, this red line right over here. Sorry, I'm burping off some coffee. It's really good, really nasty. I have such good manners. That's all the way down at around 3150-ish area. And that will be the top of our next blue box territory, the next blue box of peace and prosperity, perhaps, but overall, not looking too damn good to me. Yes, I do believe that that this next blue box territory would likely bounce up price action, probably considerably, probably retest 4,100. If again, I'm making assumptions here that we actually get down here, which again I think is likely. It's just it's going to be a matter of time, in my opinion. But hey, this will likely be a very, very nice bounce somewhere in this blue box territory. This will also be your 886 Fibonacci retracement, also your 200 simple moving average, also these nice horizontal areas right over here. The 886 is actually where we did bottom out in 2014. I'm not saying that this is going to be the bottom. In fact, I think this is actually becoming less and less likely that that's ever going to be the bottom. Although I think that you will have a nice bounce. But hey, we also do have some nice high volume nodes coming in right around there, which, again, this is very interesting to me. We are hanging on to the last kind of higher, like relatively higher volume node right over here. But as you can see, this one is nowhere near as large as the one at 6,000 was. And in fact, we are hanging on to the bottom side of it right now. So we have not officially broken it just yet, but I do like how that has good confluence with the 3,600 level. So again, if 3,600 breaks on like a 1 hour or 2 hour dildo time frame, yes, I do start looking towards this next high volume node right over here. You have absolutely nothing doing between about 3,500 and basically 2,800 essentially. So again, you might have I think you're probably gonna have like a wick down, below 3,000, and then maybe close above, this 200 simple right around 3150-ish area. I think it was probably the more likely of the scenarios. But again, a lot of things need to happen first. So can't get like too far ahead of myself, but overall, this price action over here likely to produce a very similar result as when you broke 6,000. Remember, there was absolutely no volume being done between about 6,000 all the way down to low 4,000s, which we did spend about a week going sideways alongside. But hey, when it comes down to it, it did fail, just, and this area can fail as well. And you will notice that if this area does fail, there's another big volume gap all the way down to that 11 to 1200 area, which again would be the high of our prior market cycle. Right over here, you'll also notice that the POC, or the penis of Christian, if Christian is still around, is right around this area right as well. So again, typically speaking, the unspoken rule is the high of your prior market cycle becomes like the low of your next market cycle, and that would be somewhere right around about 1,000 to 1,200-ish area. So again, it is becoming a more and more likelihood. What I used to think was possible but not probable is now becoming a lot more probable. So again, take that as you will. Overall, it's going to take a long time to get there. If it does get there, I'm making a lot of assumptions, but of course, this area needs to be broken first. This 2,000 area right over here, or sorry, we'll just call it 2,500-ish area right over here. Until that actually happens, it's still just kind of mental masturbation. But that's what I'm looking at. So again, 4,200 is going to be a critical area now coming back forwards, especially if this weekly closes below that area. If this weekly closes below 4,150, then yes, I will become, more immediately bearish. And overall, that area to me is very important. Of course, again, I want to reiterate though, if the weekly can close above it at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sunday, this coming Sunday, then yes, I do believe that we'd start filling out the mid 4,000s, but again, it's got a lot of work to do, and I think that that's very unlikely. In fact, it's really easy, or I shouldn't say it's really easy to see, but there is something very, very important about this area. Not only is it, well, let's actually go down to, well, no, this is actually important right here. Okay, so maybe we go to like a 12-hour. Yeah, there we go. Okay, 12-hour right over here, and as you can see, that 4,200 level would actually be like the bottom of this first blue box territory. So if that does, essentially be confirmed as resistance by closing this next weekly below it, then that's going to be in the next kind of big pivot for this market, right? So as long as you're below there, extremely, extremely bearish. That also means that, hey, if you can get back above there. And again, I'm making assumptions here that we actually close this weekly below there first, which I actually do think is likely. Then yes, it's then it's going to become an extremely important area for the market to kind of pivot off of. It's also going to be kind of analogous to this dotted trend line. That is essentially the 10-year logarithmic trend line on Bitstamp. That's actually now has been broken. First time in Bitcoin's history. First times in Bitcoin's history that we've actually even closed a weekly low below the 200 exponential moving average as well. But again, we don't really have enough history to really go off of that. Yeah, even over here in 2014, yeah, you wicked below it a few times, but you never closed a dildo below it. Again, when it comes down to moving averages, I'm looking for what I'm looking for is to actually open and close a weekly dildo below it. That's why I'm actually waiting on this weekly right over here, and that's why I keep reiterating that, hey, this can be as easy or as hard as on yourself as you allow it to be. Anyways, let's get on over here to the hourly. Sorry, no, one more thing with that 4,200 level. Not only is it just a very important level going off of the weekly, going off of our past area, the volume profile, the logarithmic trend line, the 10-year logarithmic trend line, and also several other things. And 786 Fibonacci retracement. As you can see, I just want to get to this point right over here. The CME futures actually did have a nice gap fill coming into the new week at that area, and that was rejected, and now we are going down. So again, just another thing kind of coming in to agree with that area around 4,100-ish area. So that's what I'd be looking at right over there. That's what I really want to be aware of going on with this guy, just because a lot of things agree with this area. So it will be an extremely, extremely hot point of contention going forwards. Okay, so let me get back on over here, and let's go over the lower time frames right now. I'm actually going to go down to the 30-minute. I typically don't do this on on streams, but I do want to be aware of what's going on right here, because Bitcoin is actually having problems right now. It will be printing hidden bearish divergence if we get rejected below this 21 exponential moving average right over here, which is currently coming in around 37.21 on MEX. And you could also go off the hourly as well. They're going to be ending at the same time in the next 15 minutes and 52 seconds. But hey, if we do close below this area right here, well, that will be the point where I do start thinking, okay, this hidden bearish divergence will play out. And again, I do, I typically don't care about hidden divergences at any point, but when it is in the direction of the current market cycle, like, you know, hidden bearish divergence in a bearish market cycle or hidden bullish divergence in a bullish market cycle, I will pay attention to it. As I do, you know, it's more likely to continue. When things are consolidating, I don't give a fuck about it. When things are trading counter trend, I don't give a fuck about it. But for right here, right now, I'm going to try to hold off this area. You know, I actually do have a small long right from this area, which I'm going to be getting out of pretty much right now. Let's see, actually, yeah, I still got again, it's not really like a long right. It's not really a long, but what it is basically just kind of covering up a little bit of my short exposure, as it does look like we do want to bounce off this area right over here. And I'll probably move that area up and maybe try to sell this guy at like $60 would probably be about right. And if that doesn't happen, well, I'll just get out the rest. You know, again, if we close this next hourly, this next hourly anywhere below 37.50, I'm just going to get out of this because there is no point, in my opinion. Again, this is just going to be another rejection of this order block right over here. If we do end below this 21 exponential moving average, again, 37.50, the area to watch. Got 14 minutes and 26 seconds to go. So a lot of things can happen, of course, but not the most encouraging right over here. So I'll probably be getting out of this position sooner rather than later, and just, you know, going back to being full short, I suppose. Anyways, 3600, again, the area to hold right over here. These pair of wicks right here, and right here. I guess not a pair, but like, you know, a threesome. You know, basically what's going on over there? Well, basically I'm looking at this area and saying to myself, or looking at this area and saying, hey, that is typically indicative of institutional order flow. When you have that sort of like same level being tested multiple times and having those nice fast wicks up and having violent movements counter trend to that, definitely indicative of institutional order flow. However, the price action over here is not encouraging. And a lot of people are looking at this as like some sort of a head and shoulders. Very rarely do you get continuation head and shoulders. Not only that, but the volume catchers would be technically wrong, and not everything's a fucking head and shoulders, man. Jesus Christ. Anyways, so when it comes down to it, you know, we spoke about why this rally right over here that we or basically the low that we put in right over here at what was it, like a couple of days ago? Yeah, Sunday it was. That was likely to fail. We spoke about that, you know, during yesterday's stream. The bearish divergence right here leading down into this. Again, I actually did not think it was going to play out this fast, but that's fucking markets for you. So. Now we're kind of coming back down into this area right over here to kind of base on it. And I'd still be using this to really base my decisions off of. But the more time that Bitcoin really spends in here actually does insinuate that we're probably going to break it. But again, over time. I'm going to put this also on the inverted chart as well, because I think a lot of people, you know, just want to confirm their biases, right? And the inverted chart right over here, I mean, this, you know, yes, it's kind of like floating around in this area, and we do actually have this area right over here, which would be right around 38.30, yeah. But you know, here's the thing: is that, you know, you go over here to the 12-hour, and it's like, all right, well, this actually does look quite bullish, and this is an inverted chart right here. Again, according to this guy, I still need to get above 3,600, but does look likely again. If we go over here to the daily, you know, daily just looks like it wants to continue. It really does. You know, you had a quick test at 38, and if this gets rejected, I mean, you know, I think it's very likely that you do break 3,600, and we will be looking at new lows relatively soon. So again, this price action over here, not fucking good. People will be looking at your well, again, this is like the inverted chart, so it's a little bit hard to read. But here's our Stokes on the daily, right? People are saying that this can't get any lower, bro. Can't get any lower, bro. No, of course not. It can stay fucking down here for eternity. And there's been plenty of times where it's, you know, maintained, you know, very, very overbought, and very, very oversold. But here's the thing. Again, professionals are fucking laughing at you if you use those words. There's no such thing as overbought. There's no such thing as oversold. There's none. Not there. It can stay overbought. It can stay oversold for eternity. I only care about divergences, and we have none. We have none on those time frames. Okay, so let's go back to the 30-minute right over here. Okay, I believe we covered GBTC. I believe we covered CMEs. Yes, we're on the verge of breaking this area right over here. So Jesus Christ, man, this thing just can't buy a fucking break. And under pressure once again. So yes, this price action over here is certainly not certainly not what's it called, confidence inducing, but I still can't, I still can't repeat how important it is to actually wait for this area to break right here, 3600, with like an hourly little close below. There will be plenty of edge on that trade. Again, it's not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but I would be waiting for that area to kind of break before actually taking a position, because this, this could be a BART zone as well. I could very easily see us spending a little bit of time in this range. Why do I say that? Well, basically going back on over here to our Bitstamp chart and putting it on the monthly, which we will be getting a new month pretty damn soon. Again, this is bad technical analysis. I'm going to give an opinion here, not technical analysis, but in my experience, very rarely do you just blast through the 55 on the monthly, immediately, especially on like the same dildo that broke the 21. That's pretty fucking rare. Does it happen? Sure, it can happen. But when we're talking about probability statistics, it's less likely. It's less likely. So again, I'll be looking at this guy over here and saying, okay, hold on. Yes, I do think that we break this area, but I think it's going to take a little bit of time. We do have something very interesting to look at with traditional markets right over here as well. Speaking of the monthly, yesterday the spies actually had, again, this is, I wouldn't like, yes, it was an update. You're up about 1.5%, 4.25, which is a big day for traditional markets, but still, I mean, is this like a good day? No, you're just kind of filling out this space right over here. But here's the thing. We have definitely been seeing a correlation between traditional markets and Bitcoin, and the fact that traditional markets had basically a bounce day coming off of the lows that we put in on Monday. Again, turnaround Tuesday, you gotta love it. Is it no? Today's Tuesday. Fuck. Turnaround Monday. Of course not. But hey, the fact that these things are bouncing when Bitcoin is not a good sign. That means that Bitcoin is relatively weak in comparison to to traditional markets, which they have a high correlation on. So you're correlated but weaker. That's not a good fucking sign. That is really not a good fucking sign. So again, while I am bearish on the overall markets, I think it's going to take some time. I still do have that measure move taking us all the way down to about our prior low right around 260, but I don't think that it happens until at least late December and probably January. If I had to say something about it, you'll very likely be getting a death cross, soonish, and I think that you're basically going to start rallying for the next couple of weeks and try to avert this death cross right over here. Of course, you have resistance right around 269, 271, but 274 is like the must. If you're bearish, that's kind of like the must hold area. That's also going to be your weekly 55. Right around 271. So again, be aware of that. Overall, yes, you do have bullish divergence on your weekly RSI over here, which typically does produce a reaction. But again, a reaction coming off your lows is likely to just retest one of these exponentials and then get rejected is probably what I'd be leaning towards. Again, the monthly over here, very, very bearish. Major bearish divergence on the RSI. Major bearish divergence on the Stokes over here, rejecting the critical zone. That, that's like 3 tells in a row. It's like 3 strikes and you're fucking out, just like Kenny Powers. So again, I do think that these ones come down over time. Yes, that probably does mean that Bitcoin comes down further as well. I think 240 is certainly in the cards. 210 is pretty likely. Below there is where things get a little bit hairy for me. So again, look at these guys right over here and be aware of what the traditional markets are doing, because if they're falling, Bitcoin's probably going to be falling as well. We have correlation on extreme movements. When traditional markets were making their highs, basically at the beginning of 2018, so was Bitcoin. When they were making their lows in February, and then again in March, so was Bitcoin. And same shit over here, except it was just a bounce for Bitcoin, off the 6,000 area, which is probably now looking very good for most hodlers. Anyways, okay, we've covered that. Good. Let's go look at Mr. Budrow really quick. I know a lot of people, I think that this one can't go lower either. Well, the monthly the monthly is just so shitty on this one. What about the weekly? Again, people look at this capitulation dildos right here. No, you don't close on your fucking lows on a capitulation dildo. It doesn't, you don't get multiple chances to buy the low. Again, and when I say multiple chances, I mean like within a couple percents. This guy coming all the way back down, this is not good. This is another hero pattern right over here. Yes, we can put in some horizontals and trade off that, or at least, or again, it's not financial advice. I'm just saying, this is what I would do if I were trading something like this, which I'm not. I'm actually not. But hey, if you do close a 2-hour dildo below 107 on Finex, This thing's likely coming lower, back below 100, which you actually didn't break on Finex just yet. Did we break? I believe we broke 100. Double-digit shitcoin. That's right, baby. That 97 and 60 cents. Did we get back below there again? No, we didn't. 102 and 60 is your current low. So on BitMexico, that critical area would be right here, 103. We'll just call it 103 and a quarter. But hey, if you do break that area, then yep. Well, I mean, there's, we have to go down, we have to go over to the higher time frames on Finex once again to find where is this likely to come over to, and I believe it's 90 is the next area that that I have marked out. Yeah, right over here, about 90, about around $90 even, something like that. If that area fails, which I think is pretty damn likely, then you're probably coming down to like 50 to 60 range, and that's where things could get a lot more interesting. Again, probably gonna depend on whatever Bitcoin does, as Bitcoin does run the market, but Bitcoin, looking pretty sick, looking like a sick dog as well. So again, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking to myself, this is not too fucking healthy. Again, it looks to me like we will be closing this hourly below the 21. So I'm going to be getting ready to take off that kind of hedge long position pretty damn soon. I'll be looking for like a retest of this area, like maybe around $40 or something like that would be good enough. Jesus Christ, man. Yeah, this thing just cannot even buy a rally right now. I'm actually just going to get this. I'm just going to put this in right over here just in case. Because Jesus Christ, man. It's like, wow, you are that fucking, you are a legitimate shitcoin right now. So again, this is very likely to turn into hidden bearish divergence. I mean, we have 4 minutes to go. I'm barring any rally back to 37.50 in the next 4 minutes, I would say, yeah, probably going to come back down and test this guy right over here around 36.80. Again, that's not the critical support to be holding above. Probably do bounce a little bit there. 3,600 is the critical area. Again, 3,600 the critical area for the bears to break, and 4,050 is the critical area for the bulls. I mean, then again, it's like 4,200 is really the critical area, but 40.50 would start to look a lot better, in my opinion. So yeah, that's what I'd be looking at right over there. Okay, so we spoke about that. Jesus Christ, man. I'm all over the place today. Sorry about that, guys. Do apologize about that. But XRP right over here. A lot of people always ask about XRP. Again, broke our critical level, days ago. That was your sign right over here. Once you broke below 38.5 cents. And again, we spoke about, a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, when it broke this 21 exponential right over here. That was the time to not be bullish on this thing anymore. I know people are looking for decoupling. I know people are, are excited about that, but that's not the data that we have in front of our face right now. The data that we have is that this thing is, it's a piece of shit, just like everything else in this market. And sorry, if you take that personally, it's just a term of endearment, man. I call Bitcoin a shitcoin too, man. And I kind of like Bitcoin. I think, long term, I am a believer in it, but the long term means, 5, 10, maybe 20 years. That's too fucking long. No, of course not. But hey, yeah, you broke this area right over here. This is not fucking good, man. Yeah, technically you do have support at 34.5 cents. That's, this is not, just by the nature of getting back down here, it's not good. That's not a good sign. And of course, your big support right around 26.5 cents, we'll call it, which I do think that you'll likely retest, and you'll probably will break it over time. Again, this basically looks like Ethereum, but like just less advanced. Ethereum's like all the way down over here, whereas Mr. Ripple, he had a swell conference, so everyone's really excited about that. Bull Clinton getting in there, talking it all up, but probably going to join the rest of the market. Again, we don't have any signal of decoupling, anything like that anytime soon. So again, it's one of those things. Okay, so Bitcoin right over here. Oh, are we going to see this rally? I guess we'll watch this one together. Again, 1 minute and 40 seconds to go. Can we get back? We need to get back above 37.50 for me to say that maybe this does take it out right here. It doesn't look like it though. It doesn't look like it right now. So yeah, just kind of watching this guy right here. Let's see, 37.30 right now. We got 1 minute and 23 seconds to go. Come on, baby, you can do it, you little shitcoin. Or perhaps you can't, because that's what you are. You are just a little shitcoin. Maybe test back on this. Oh, ooh, we're rallying. It's rallying. Let's see. I'll take this off for now. And just let it go. Again, a lot of the time you will get this price action in the last minute of these dildos closing. Again, and this is why I care about dildo bodies, not wicks. It looks like it might actually try. It only has like $15 more to go, but even if it does close below, I'm cool with kind of just letting it ride anyways, or not letting it ride, but waiting for the retest around this region so I can get out. of that small long hedge. So again, just kind of like showing a little bit about how like a trade in an open position when, like when price action basically, changes around. Okay, so 5 minute right over here. Do we have anything else to look at? 5 minute stocks coming down to the bottom right over here. So that's again doesn't fucking matter. No bullish divergence even on a 5 minute down around here. Not that you should really expect some in this range, but hey, 17 seconds left to go. Let's just watch this one together, and then I'll close out the video because my God, this one's probably been long enough already, and I do pause about that. Need to be more respectful of times. And there we go, 7, 6, and I'm just gonna get ready with this guy right over here. Let's see, how much do I have? 30, 68. Yes, it has closed below, and let's see, 34. Okay, there we go. All right, great. Okay, cool. So yeah, it probably is going to give it another try right here, but again, I think that likely gets rejected. The hourly is not going to look too strong right here. Again, a rejection of this 21. In fact, I might consider putting a short somewhere in that region. So again, to kind of wrap up this video, 3,600, the very important area for the bulls to hold. I don't think that they hold it. Yes, you do have resistance right here at 3,800. These are not like super important resistances. I mean, yes, you do want to see, bulls get above those areas, but Jesus Christ, my phone's going crazy. But really there's nothing really to look at for the bulls until you can like close a weekly back above 4,200. Again, I can't stress this enough. This week can be as easy as you let it be. All you have to do is just wait for the weekly total close. A lot of people getting given back profits after a $2,000 run to the downside. That's your fucking money, man. You don't have to give that back. It's again, when you make money, it's now your job to keep it. So I really can't stress that enough. So yeah, that's what I'm looking at right over here. Looks to me like it does want to come back down, probably headed back down to about 3680-ish area. And if things get bad, then 3600 again. 3600 is still the area to watch. If that one gets rejected, or sorry, if that one gets broken, well, I'm looking towards 3200-ish area. And again, 4200 the area for the bulls to break. If you can do that, then yes, we can start filling out the mid 4000s. Although I would be very much leaning against that idea anytime soon. All right, that's going to do it for today's video. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. I'll be doing a little bit of a live stream of in like 8 or so hours. So look forward to see you guys there. If not, take care. Hope you have a great day, and I'll see you guys soon.